Welcome to 108 Gate. I'm looking at the Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine combined. It's one of those days where we just like things are popping off and coming together, and other things then can be revealed of what needs to be worked on. So we're going with the root chakra, bringing in some security, bringing in some clearer energy around that root area to feel more grounded on some level. So here we go. Excellent. Definitely feeling some things are like settling down. It's like watching a feather blowing in the wind, and then it's come down to settle down. That feather doesn't understand where it's actually been, because it's been tossed up in the wind and then down, and then tossed up in the wind and then down. So that's the image I'm seeing. And then swirling around with leaves and things like that. So then when this energy of coming in, feeling settled and a bit more at peace, it's after a bit of turmoil, after a bit of chaos. So let's go. We've got power coming in, making sure we're taking this time to just still ourselves and acknowledge that this hasn't been easy on some level. There are some things that are coming in that have been going on for quite a while. So the fact that they're coming in and feeling calm and calmer, it's definitely a welcome feeling. It's definitely feeling more ideal than the chaos and the upheaval you may have had. Some of you may have just been going through a few days of turmoil, quite intense turmoil, because of the configuration that's happening, like I mentioned earlier. Either way, it's still quite intense. It's still that feeling of the feather being blown in the wind with the leaves and the litter and stuff like that, and now it's coming and being settled in a more luscious space. Security. So I am definitely feeling that's why I did the root chakra tuning fork. Definitely feeling some level of security wanting to come in. So all of that blowing around, now it's coming into this space of feeling secure in something that now you know that, okay, I've just dealt with that in a better way than I thought I could have or would have. I've dealt with it in a way knowing that my limits are here and there. This is where I'm going to grow. This is how I'm going to get stronger. So I've learned something from that chaos. I've learned something from that kerfuffle, and definitely know if that was to happen again, where do I need to strengthen myself? Where do I need to increase security? How do I need to increase security? Those are the questions now. How do I increase the security within myself? How do I make sure I'm containing myself in a way that even if something comes from external, I'm able to sustain something myself. I'm able to keep it safe and protected. So Divine Feminine in this space is coming in with the 9 of Wands. So usually, again, that comes in with the energy of having just gone through something. I'm definitely seeing two different groups. So one is feeling like it's been an ongoing long-term kind of thing, and you're just about beginning to feel like you can put your bags down and settle down kind of feeling. And then another group is kind of like the last few days have been intense, kind of squeezing of energy, squeezing of your consciousness, squeezing of your limitations, and trying to figure out like what is happening, and then understanding I've just got to ride this wave. I've just got to figure out how to stay still, how to stay calm. It's not forever. We're going to just ride this wave, and it's going to stop, and we're going to come out at some end like a storm, going through that emotional energetic storm. And the masculine energy is coming out feeling like, right, that was like a whirlwind. That was like a turbulent motion of emotions and thoughts and interactions. Now I'm going to be ready to spin in the correct direction. I'm ready to spin in a more empowered manner. I'm ready to enjoy this when it happens next. And I don't mean that in we want chaos to come in. It's more to do with the fact that you're going to have less fear around these things. You're going to have less anxiety or stress or worry around it, because as you get used to new comfort zones, you're going to be more prepared to kind of ride the wave and just observe. You're going to be clicking into new responses of observing what's happening rather than stressing about what's happening. You're going to be observing and feeling into, how can I better improve the situation when I'm in this? What can I have around me to make sure I'm safe? How can I make sure I'm hydrated? How can I make sure that I have the correct routine to keep me on focus and on track? How can I make sure that when I have that time and that energy and that effort to kind of not get ahead of myself, but stay really efficient and effective, so then when those things come up out of nowhere, or those days come up when it's a bit more difficult, you're not falling behind, but you may just feel like, okay, so this is why I was making up time now. This is why I was being effective and efficient here, because now this little dip here means that I'm not falling behind, but I'm not behind. I'm not falling behind, but I'm also not ahead of myself. I'm just on track. So it's kind of like foreseeing certain things coming and planning ahead, whilst also being effectively and efficiently and lovingly in the present moment. So, Eight of Cups, knowing that there's certain things you can walk away from. There's certain things that you don't need to be stressed and worried about anymore, because you're in a different comfort zone. You're in a different space of being. Like I said, you're ushering yourself into a new comfort zone. I don't think we should have to be scared of going into new things, going to do new things, or being a new version or new part of ourselves. But at the same time, we can't help when you've got certain triggers and certain things happening, we can't help but to initially feel a bit anxious. The thing is now about refining that connection with yourself, so that when that anxiety does come up, you can stop yourself, you can soothe yourself, and you can reconnect with yourself to allow yourself to remember, right, it's that thing again, it's that feeling again. How best do we approach this? Let's do it in the most calm way. Let's centre ourselves, see what resources we need, see what resources we have, and let's go from there. So it's a very, very different vibe. So going forward, we are now in the Six of Wands. Excellent. So from the Nine of Wands, moving forward and knowing, sorry, it's not the Nine of Wands. Yes, it is. Nine of Wands. Going forward and making sure that we're aware of how we are becoming victorious, because we're doing that time to stop. We're taking that time and attention to stop and acknowledge, where am I, what am I doing, and how am I going to proceed forward from this. So what I want to do is get one more for each and then just wrap it up, because this is a very whizzy energy. It's quite an intense energy coming out of a space where we've just been. It's definitely got a secure message of increasing personal security, taking that time to acknowledge where your security has increased, taking that time to feel empowered and feel as though you're making progress. So here we go. Have a look at where you want to go from this space. How am I going to, like I said earlier, how am I going to respond when this comes up again? I know this worked. I know this worked. So for me, this is a way of empowering myself. This is a way of making sure I have this this thought pattern at my hand, to hand, as an instant reaction rather than going into stress. If you've gone into stress, anxiety, how long did it take you from getting back on track to, I've got this, I'm all right? Then it's just a matter of keeping those things that work and being flexible to make sure that we're doing the best we can for ourselves, because there's going to be a lot of this stuff coming up, especially as we've got Pluto coming stronger into Aquarius. We've got the Chiron in Aries going towards North Node. That does feel like it's going to be quite a compression, and also with Jupiter edging closer towards Uranus, and that's going to be around April time, but more so, like I keep saying, and I'm going to keep saying, I would do that thing of like prep now. If you have certain assignments due, if you have a appraisal, or you have certain things that are due to be doing, a house move or whatever it is, April time, try and do as much prep as you can now, because you don't know what's going to be fired off, you don't know what's going to be coming up during that time. So it's kind of prepping, be prepared, just be organized, make sure you're kind of, when you have a chance to get certain things done. I don't know why I'm seeing boxes being packed. If you have a chance to pack a few things or just clear a few things, 5 items a day or 5 items at the weekend, whatever it is, instead of just trying to do all of it at once at the end, it's going to help you so much more than trying to do everything all at once. Because the pressure point and the pressure on that point is going to be a different kind of feeling to now. You have the luxury right now of being able to do things a little bit differently. So 3 of Wands, looking out to where are you heading, looking out to where am I going. So because of this now moving in a different direction, emotionally we can look at a different way of going into things. We can look at a different approach, a different way of proceeding forward in a safer way. Because now here we've overcome certain burdens, we've overcome certain stresses, we've overcome certain boundaries that we were kind of locked ourselves in these boundaries. That's what it feels like. We're no longer feeling like that feather just floating around, being blown in the wind and tossed this way and tossed that way. So a victorious thing over here of steadying ourselves. And from that steadying of ourselves, we now have a more firm 3 of Wands, looking out to where are we going to go now. Because now I'm emotionally more secure, emotionally feeling a bit more in control of certain things. Not controlling of things, more in control of certain things. Now I'm better able to start looking out to horizon. I can start looking out to my new comfort zone and see how to best approach it. So with that, if you wanted a personal reading or a personal reading with Reiki, you can email me at 108gate.com. 108gate@gmail.com. And we're going to do 3 root chakra tuning forks to close off this reading. Here we go. Till next time, peace and love.